Hey Venturia, I'm Faye Meana. I'm a singer-songwriter and this is my home. Come on in. We're in Hoxton, East London. So I've lived here for 5 years and in this house and in the area. I moved here from my parents' home, so this is like my first place on my own. I really love this area. It's kind of central enough that we can get to places really quickly. It's like a 20-minute walk to Liverpool Street and there's great connections, whether it's bus, train, overground, but also it's kind of like this street is quite quiet, so it's nice, and we're really close to, we've got Hagston Park, Shoreditch Park, we've got Victoria Park, London Fields, like we're so close to a lot of green spaces, so it feels like although we're so central, we do have nature quite close enough. And also it's quite nice, this area is very kind of, it feels quite community, like especially our row of flats, like we all know each other. It's a really nice vibe, everyone's got each other's back. When we bought the flat, it was completely different. So we basically knocked out all of the internal walls apart from like any load bearing walls and completely redid it, and yeah, like kind of reconfigured it a little bit to suit more like what we wanted, which was kind of like a bit more of a like open kitchen dining area, and then having the living room like closed off, so it's like two separate areas. I kind of like having a few little trinkets. I don't like it overloaded, so I kind of have this for like my weird little trinkets. Like obviously I don't actually utilise this. This is actually a Venturia purchase. I think this was my first Venturia purchase. Very small little thing. But I love a red and blue combo. Like that's my thing. The red chairs, like there's pops of red and blue all over the house. So this tray, along with kind of all of the other tiled pieces, was made by myself and my brother-in-law. We were going to start a company making them, but it kind of just got to a point where they're very heavy and logistically it was going to be very hard, but we got a lot of test pieces made. So my sister and my brother-in-law have a lot in their home in Dubai, and I have this tray which I love. I really love this tray, and the unit here. Also I have a chair in my studio and the coffee table in there, which I really love them. I love the kind of like brutality of them. I bought these chairs, I can't even remember where I bought them, but they were just like grey, just average grey. And I painted them in just like Dulux wall paint. I can't remember what the shade is, but I just knew that I really wanted a pop of colour, and I couldn't find any chairs that were the right red that I wanted, so I just made them myself instead. I make a lot of the stuff in the house, like I just DIY it. I think it's easier to find something that like fits your, like the blueprint of what you want, and then you can make it what you're actually looking for. Especially on a budget, it's kind of hard to get everything you want. This is the living room. I have people over quite a lot, so I really wanted a big sofa. This I purchased from Venturia about, I'm gonna say like 2 years ago. It's a 1950s Danish, and it's literally my favourite thing. Like she's a little bit dated, she's a bit old, a bit crispy in areas, but I love her. She's so comfortable, and I don't think that they make sofas as good as this anymore. Also with this kind of like character, I really love the kind of mid-century mixed with modern, which you'll see kind of like around the rest of the house. I have recently had these shelves built. We didn't have shelves here before. I had two little photo frame like shelves, but I read a lot, and all of these books were just sporadically around the house in random areas. I didn't have anywhere like meaningful to put them. So now all of the books that when I've read them, they come down to this shelf. So all the other ones I haven't read are just dotted around the house. I found these letters on the street, and it was really funny because I found the N first, and I was like, that's really cool, but it's just it's just an N. And then literally like maybe like 50 meters down the road, I found the O. So I think that they would have been together, but I don't know why they were separated. So I picked them up, brought them here, and now they're part of the house. So I love the curtain, so hotels often just like have a curtain on a wall, and I love that. It's not, there's obviously nothing behind here, it's just the wall. But there's these, we couldn't, because the shelves are so big, we couldn't have them floating. And I wasn't a massive fan of these. I feel like it's less offensive here because the books kind of take away from it, but under here it was very obvious. So I thought, what is a way that I can hide it? And then I was like, I love curtains on a wall where there's not a window. So I literally have just, I've made them myself. I literally just bought the fabric in a long piece, I think this is maybe about 6 meters. Sewed it, and then I've literally just put it up with little pegs under here and eyelet. It took me a very long time to do it, to punch each hole individually and hang up all of the screws underneath, but I think it definitely paid off, and I think it makes it very cozy. This is just a downstairs loo. It used to just be plain white box. I didn't do anything with it for ages because I kind of didn't really know what to do because it's obviously very small. I first started painting this, so this is a little green paint. I can't remember the shade, I think it's actually just called ultramarine blue, I'm sure. It's very chalky, and I just like the fact that it added a bit more interest to just having a white wall here instead. And obviously we have our toilet rolls stacked up. The wall, I basically, again, was like, the walls are so boring. I kind of originally was going to wallpaper, but again, I couldn't find something that I loved. And I went to a Mexican restaurant in Borough, and they had like vintage Mexican magazines cut out onto the wall, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. So I literally just bought, I think I went to like Oxfam, bought some random old magazines, sliced them out with a Stanley knife, and then stuck them to the wall with double-sided tape. So it's very easy. This is my studio where I spend 99% of my life. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a self-explanatory space. Obviously, I've got my music stuff. I have this desk that I got from a vintage shop in Whitstable and got it delivered to London. I just loved it. I really wanted something that had a good amount of storage on both sides because I have a lot of stuff to store, but also that was big enough for the length of this room. And basically it was really hard for me to find a desk that was kind of like fit the specs that I wanted, but I saw this and I was like, that is exactly what I want. I bought this from a lovely seller on Vinteria. He's a really, really sweet guy, and I saw this piece in person actually, and I was like, it's just so strange, like something about the eyes, and it's, a lot of people are like, this is a really weird piece, but I really love it. I think it's so interesting. I don't know who the artist is, Paula. It also was made in 1998, which was the year I was born, so it's kind of meant to be. But yeah, I just really love it, and I think it's the perfect tone for this room. Like, it's quite warm, it goes with my warm woods, and I think it just adds a kind of like a bit of a personality to the wall that would have just been there otherwise. This is our bedroom. This, yeah, I wanted this space to be very cozy. This is the only place where I've painted the walls. I kind of, yeah, felt like I needed something on this. I used to have lots of artwork on here, but I didn't like it. It was too, I think, it made the space feel really, really small. And so I kind of liked this. It makes the ceiling feel a bit bigger, having the two-tone. And yeah, I just kind of have lots of random pieces that I found. Like, this is where I keep all of my jewelry. I love a Renaissance type picture. I bought this years ago. I think I got it for like £5. It was painted like a forest green and really chipped in places. It was the first time that I'd reworked a piece before, and it was quite a challenge. It was a massive learning curve. It took me way longer than I care to admit. But yeah, just sanded it down, took the paint off first, sanded it down, then stained it with Danish oil, and now I love it. Yeah, it's my favourite, so now I'm just looking for another one to match for the other side. I actually upholstered that myself. A lot easier than it looks. If you were to see the back, you would definitely know that it was a DIY. But I basically, again, it was one of those things where I couldn't find something that wasn't extortionately priced, that fit the kind of vibe that I wanted. I wanted a really like abstract, weird fabric, and all of the ones that I could find online were seriously so much money. So I basically just bought this fabric. It is actually upholstery fabric, so it's like durable, and then literally just staple gunned it to the back and pulled it really tight, and kind of somehow made it look okay. I actually got that picture from a flea market in LA, and I knew that I wanted it to go here. We had another piece of art here before, but it just wasn't my favourite. So I painted the mount, and yeah, I found this gold frame. I can't even remember where I found that frame. I always just get frames like from really cheap places. And then yeah, put the art inside, and I just think it adds a lot more, it's just a lot more interesting than obviously just having it like on a white traditional mount. This is just a shelf under here, and there is lots of products, and it's not very nice to the eye. It's quite a like awkward height. The shelf is not like a standard shelf height, so it's really hard to find a box that was like big enough, like even having two this way, but also like tall enough that it kind of didn't look weird. So then I was like, I'm just gonna hide it. So I made these, bought some fabric from a place on Brick Lane. I actually hand sewed the top, which was really tedious. And yeah, it's so easy because now it just hides all of the mess, and I can kind of just shove everything under there and it still looks tidy. I think it kind of also adds a lot more, because before that, it's obviously just white tile, white walls. It was very kind of like clinical almost. And so this really makes it so much softer and like a bit more homely. Thanks so much for coming, guys. It was really fun to show you around, and I'll see you soon.